All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will call this meeting to order. This is the last meeting of the Administration and Public Works Committee of the City of Evanston under our 81st City Council. It's Monday, April 28th, 2025. Councilmember Jonathan Nieuwsma chairing the meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Reed.
Here.
Councilmember Kelly. Here. Councilmember Harris.
Present.
Councilmember Nieuwsma.
Here.
Councilmember Burns. We have a quorum.
A quorum being present, we will continue with the business of the committee, starting with approval of the minutes from April 14th. If I could have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Reed, seconded by Councilmember Harris. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next up is public comment. We do not have anybody signed up online for public comment. We don't have anybody signed up in the room for public comment. So we will continue with the consent agenda. I'm going to take item A12 off consent. Councilmember Kelly has a question about A11. Should we take 11 off consent?
I'll take a yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we will continue with the consent agenda minus items A11 and A12. If I could have a motion, please.
I move the consent agenda minus items A11 and A12.
It's been moved by Councilmember Reed, seconded by Councilmember Harris, that we approve the consent agenda minus items A11 and A12. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The consent agenda minus items A11 and A12 is approved. If I could have a motion on item A11.
I'll move item A11.
Second.
That is Resolution 41R25, authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with the Sauna Club located at the Church Street Boat Launch area. So any discussion on item A11?
Thank you. So I think I've heard rave reviews about it. The plan was to meet with the residents ahead of time, just with the folk festival in that area and everything else. This didn't happen. I kind of fell through the cracks with elections and all, so I would just ask if we could hold it for 2 weeks. And I've, spoken with Ryan. Is that it?
Brian.
Ryan. Thank you. So you can also meet with the residents who live near there, so there can be an understanding before we go forward with it. That would be great. So I would just ask if we could hold it for 2 weeks. It'll be a smoother transition, I think. If
That's a motion to hold.
I'm sorry. I mean table. Pardon me. I should know that.
So that's
by
a
now.
motion to table
until the next meeting.
Until our next meeting. Is there a second? There is not a
Nobody's
second.
going to second that. I believe me. I mean, we have a folks festival. We have a lot of events there, and that was one of the things that we did. As Matt knows, we talked to residents about any additional activities there. There weren't going to be any. I think this will probably be okay, but out of respect to the residents, I asked that we hold it so that we can at least just meet with the residents before moving forward with the relocation to that section of the lakefront. So I would like to just table it until the next meeting.
Councilmember Reed.
Is there any harm in tabling this?
Well, my resident would like to get moving in his business that he's been talking about for a while. Would you like to come up and talk for a second? I know, but I'd like him to talk to the people, maybe. Thank you.
So if I could clarify the question, would there be any business interruption of your business if this item were held for 2 weeks?
Thanks for having me, everybody. If we're able to stay at Lee Street Beach until that's where we currently are operating on a temporary right-of-way permit, if we can extend that until we're ready to move to Church Street, I'd be fine with that. As long as we can just kind of keep going at Lee Street.
And then, point of information, is that possible from staff's perspective to
People at church.
grant 2 weeks on it?
Tim Carter, Lakefront Manager. It is possible. I would have to talk to Public Works. I will note I did receive a complaint from a neighbor across Lee Street Beach yesterday asking when the mobile sauna will be moved from in front of their residence to another location. So we'll just end with that.
So there'll be a lot more if we don't, than that one, if this happens without some conversation with the neighbors first in this area. So, and that's all. And I think, again, I've heard nothing but good reviews, so I'm not opposing it, but I just think out of respect to the neighbors there, this fell through the cracks and there should have been discussion first. Again, this is a neck of the woods that has a lot of activities, a folk festival and everything else. So I think it's in everybody's best interest to have those conversations first.
And then just to close out my remarks, Councilmember Harris, given that, do you oppose tabling this for 2 weeks or?
So what do we believe will be the case when it moves to Church Street? Is that the residents you're going to speak to, the Church Street residents?
So, everything moves a bit more smoothly if there's open communication as opposed to broadsiding people with any activity. So I think that conversation will, in principle, I presume from everything I've heard, I don't know why there's complaints at Lee Street, what that complaint is about, but I'm going to hope and assume that it's a different sort of set of circumstances that wouldn't provoke the same thing. But I don't think it's about just shifting and saying, well, they're complaining now, so we're just going to shift it here without any communication.
But I take offense to broadside. I think this has been there. I've talked to the owner, so it fell through the cracks, not with staff. Where did it fall through the cracks? You didn't talk to your residents. So I just want to make sure that whatever we do moving forward, I don't think it's a matter of broadsiding people. The sauna's been there. I would like it to happen, and for our residents who owns the business to understand what's going on, what Church Street, if it's in front of one person's home, technically it's going to be in front of somebody else's, or am I wrong?
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, over the winter time, the sauna was at Dempster Street Beach.
Right.
That lease ended. So Ryan obtained a right-of-way permit. Now he's in front of Lee Street Beach. So the goal here now is to try to move him away from those homes into an area that is less visible, but close to the water. I will note that I did talk to several boat users. All were supportive of this.
Sure. For the boat users, right. And I just want to say
right.
It was an agreement that I did discuss with Director Tom. So this was a joint agreement that we would arrange for this meeting. So collectively, I think this needed to happen. And I think that this is, again, in your interest and everybody's interest to have those communications first.
Councilmember Kelly has made a motion. I don't hear a second, so I will call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
No.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item A11 will advance to City Council. Item A12 is next. If I could have a motion, please, on item A12. Councilmember Harris, if you do me the honors, please.
I move for A12. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 45R25 in support of legislation and associate funding to create a robust, unified, efficient, accessible, and modern public transit system in Evanston and Northeast Illinois.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Harris, seconded by Councilmember Kelly. I do want to amend the recitals section of this ordinance to include some language at the request of Evanston Township High School, reflecting the importance of our public transportation system on their students and making sure they're able to get to school in a safe and environmentally a compliant manner. So there's language in the email that went out from City Manager Stowe this afternoon. I'll read it really briefly. Whereas Evanston Township High School, the city's only public high school serving more than 3,500 students, does not offer yellow school bus transportation, and as a result, hundreds of students rely on CTA, PACE, and other public transit services as a daily lifeline to access school, extracurricular activities, jobs, and essential resources, making reliable, affordable, and accessible public transit critical to ensuring equitable access to education and opportunity for all ETHS students. So I'm going to make a motion to amend the resolution to include that language. If I could have a second, please.
Second.
A quick vote on that amendment. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The amended language is approved. And now a quick vote on the underlying motion on the resolution itself. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item A12 passes and will go to City Council as amended. So there being no further business to come before this committee, I declare this meeting adjourned, and we will start planning and development in 4 minutes. Thank you, everybody.